بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد. So just a reason for him to come out of eternal punishment. May Allah protect us from that. Also, angels don't know the sin of Iblis. Why? Because arrogance is a disease of the heart, and angels don't know that. Angels, they don't know that you are arrogant or you're jealous. They don't know what is in the heart, unless, of course, if Allah reveals it to them. So for this reason, uh, good deeds of the heart are hidden, and similarly, the good deeds of the bad deeds of the heart are hidden, and no one knows except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So prostration is a sign to show to the angels, look, this is what Iblis did not do. So it'll be a proof against him. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal protection. Tonight we continue, or we complete the lesson which is what is the reason for arrogance to be impermissible. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid arrogance? What are the reasons for that? And this is something we'll cover or find out today in the words of Imam al-Ghazali. So he says, Imam al-Ghazali, may Allah have mercy upon him, that arrogance is severe to that extent that a person will not enter paradise if he has an atom's worth of it. And this amount is so little, but even that will not be overlooked. And the reason for that is, and the first reason is to compete with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that which is solely for him. These are from the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or in other words, these are from Allah's attributes. Allah's attributes are of two types, or they're attributes that are solely for him, and the attributes that he has permitted for us to take on. As for the attributes that relate to him only, it is completely impermissible for us to partake in them or have any part of it. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mutakabbir, but mutakabbir is not like how we have in this humans. But the word mutakabbir, it basically means the highest degree of greatness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to him belongs all greatness of the heavens and the earth. Also, he named himself al-mutakabbir, which is translated as arrogance, but is not like the takabbur of how humans have looking at themselves or looking down upon people. One one should uh, uh, there is it is a necessary attribute that that God, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must have this attribute. So these are attributes that are solely for him. Similarly, the Avenger and the Compeller, all these are attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jabbar or Muntaqim, these are not attributes for humans to have. Or Tafarrud, this one with the sole decision maker. These are even us as parents, fathers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us capabilities to direct command and counsels and making decisions, but not as a something forced down. It's not a force down. It is by taking counsel, by everyone having their input into it, and then you decide based on everyone's opinion. After you've heard everyone's opinion and everyone's thoughts, then you decide. Because the Prophet ﷺ is the greatest of creation. He 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 being the greatest of creation was ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take everyone's opinion, even though he's in no need of that. Because the one who takes uh, 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 other people's opinions is somebody who's lacking in something, and and that means he lacks knowledge. But who is more knowledgeable than the Prophet ﷺ? He's the one who receives revelation, but despite that, he was told to take the opinions of others. And we know uh, from the attributes of the arrogant person is that he does not take other people's opinions, and he doesn't even make istikhara. He doesn't even seek dua from other people. He doesn't say, I have this situation, please make dua for me. I made this decision, I understand. The one who likes, let him like. The one who doesn't like, let him not like. This is the height of arrogance. This is what Fir'aun is like. He just sees, he just considers all that what he sees only. The second thing, from the attributes, that is from the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is from the beautiful attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like the one who pardons, the one who forgives, the one who is grateful and patient and forbearing, and the loving, and the one who answers people's calls. All these attributes, you should be having them in you. You should be Kareem, you should be generous, you should be forbearing, you sabot. These are all attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you can take on, which is referred to in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he says, take on the akhlaq or the character of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We find that those who cross the bounds, they don't take on Allah's attributes, beautiful attributes, nor do they take the attributes of the prophets and the messengers, and they don't even take on attributes of humanity. A person may be a non-Muslim, but at the end of the day, he's a human. Where is his humanity? So they don't have good character of Allah's beautiful attributes, nor do they have attributes of the prophets, nor do they have attributes nor do they have any humanity. So what they have is just demonic attributes. And this is what you see in people. They are literally demons. You feel like, are they just arrogant? No, they're not just arrogant. This beyond arrogance. The person is just complete demonic. Like how when you praise a person, the height of praise would be, say you're like an angel, and the opposite is true. The person has every single attribute of the devil, so you say you're just a devil. And this exists, and the Quran confirms that, where it says the devil is amongst the humans and the jinns. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He says that we've made enemies of the prophets from amongst the demonic humans and the jinn demons. They're not less. They're not less than than the jinn demons, and sometimes they're even worse than the jinn demons. Also, we mentioned that these devils who delude humankind, we don't see them in this world. They and his tribe see you from a place where you don't see. So you and me, we don't see our Qareen, the one that whispers from the day you were born till you die. It does not leave you. It's with you 24/7. This is what is referred to as Qareen. Then there are other devils. They're not with you 24/7, but they're with you in certain times and situations. They have certain specific roles and duties. Like, for instance, there's a devil that comes to you uh, at the time of sleep, and it gives you demonic thoughts, and it makes sleep for you heavy so that you don't wake up for Fajr. This is the devil for the Fajr time. Then there's a devil that is in the toilet. Then there, and this is why we've been told by the Prophet ﷺ to read the dua when entering the toilet. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubathi al-khabath. And then there's a devil that is in the there is a devil that's in the marketplace. At the entrance of the marketplaces there are devils, because you are entering into their field. That's why we're supposed to be remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the marketplace. Then there's a devil that comes to you in different forms of worship, like in wudu, the devil that's called walhan comes to you. That when you want to make wudu, then walhan comes to you at that time. It tries to spoil for you your wudu. Then when you complete making wudu, then the shaitan of the prayer comes, which is called khindib. So in general, also there's a devil that comes to you when you leave your house. This is why the Prophet ﷺ informed us that when we want to leave our house, and whoever says Bismillahi amantu billahi tawakkaltu ala Allah, that it's said to them that this is enough for you, and the devil is been taken away from you. So these different types of devils, they live with us. And then there's a devil that said that comes to you when you eat, so that if you don't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you don't eat or drink, or you don't say Bismillah when you eat or drink, then the devil eats and drinks with you. Similarly, there's a devil that comes to you when you go to your wife, to your spouse, that when you are with your spouse, and then you don't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you're procreating, then at that time the devil partakes. So all these hidden devils, on the day of judgment, you will see them all. You'll see the khinzab, you will see the walhan, you will see the devil of the sleep. Sometimes you'd see the devil in your dream. They'll come to you in your dream and they try to suffocate you. The Jathum, the devil Jathum. So if you see some in your dream, uh, this devil coming and sitting on top of you and trying to suffocate you, don't be afraid. This, you will also see this devil that tries to threaten you in your dream. You'll see them all on the Day of Judgment. And this is mentioned in the Quran, where they will say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, show us the jinns from the humans and the two that from amongst the jinns that misguided us, so that we put them under our feet. Then the other reason why arrogance is prohibited is that the arrogant person does not accept the truth, because acceptance of truth means you are weak. You don't have your own personality. So this is why they show arrogance in front of the truth. They'll say, "Hey, all of you are wrong." Some people are like that. All of you are wrong except me. You all don't understand. Your intellects are small. I understand everything. All of you are wrong. So it's not that he rejects the truth. He makes the falsehood truth and the truth falsehood. He says all of you are wrong and I'm right. And there are people like that. And the worst types of rejection of the truth is that when somebody's arrogance makes him refuse La ilaha illallah. And this is what the people of Quraysh were like. The Quraysh, they were the people who knew the religion of Sayyidina Ibrahim the most, and they knew Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Prophet and his father Sayyidina Abdullah, and they knew the truthfulness of the Prophet that he is the trustworthy one, and they knew that he would never lie, and they tested him, and it was confirmed for him his truthfulness. And then they even challenged him, and they said that if this moon would split for you, we will believe you. And then so the Prophet asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that these people are asking for this, and it's not in my hands. And the moon split. It was said that the moon was split so much that the people of Quraysh could see the mountain of Abu Qubais between the two halves of the moon. Such that if a person were to be standing in front of Haram, in the Masjid al-Haram, he would see the mountain of Abu Qubais, and they would see the moon in two parts. And despite seeing that, they ended up saying that, oh, you just cast a spell in front of on us. So Quraysh, their arrogance prevented them from accepting the Prophet as a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said, they even went to the point of saying that if it was anyone other than you, we'd accept. And what did Abu Jahl said? He said, we don't see you as a prophet of God. We see you as an orphan of Abu Talib. You're somebody whose father and his mother passed away. That's all we see you. That you, oh Muhammad, in our eyes, you're just a small child who's an orphan. We only see you as a human like us. So they showed arrogance, and then that resulted in their disbelief, which is the worst type. This is the worst type of disbelief, which is to disbelieve due to arrogance. Disbelief is of four types. There's disbelief from arrogance. There's disbelief out of by just rejecting, and then there's disbelief based on hypocrisy, and then there's So there's juhud, which is being ungrateful, and then there is based on arrogance, and then there's based on hypocrisy. And so what is important right now for us to know is that this arrogance based, this kufr or disbelief based on arrogance is the disbelief of Iblis, meaning he saw the truth, but because of his arrogance, he stopped. Iblis is the one creation that knows the most that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord. He himself asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to extend his lifespan. He said, "My Lord." Imagine he's saying "my Lord" and he's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to extend his lifespan. What does that mean? That means he accepts Allah's lordship. And what did he take an oath on? He took an oath on Allah's izzah, his glory. And despite that, he refused to prostrate. So he had all these. He had all these. He had all these beliefs. He had the belief of Allah's lordship, his attributes, and everything. But still, he was a disbeliever. But it was his arrogance that made him be expelled. Iblis himself, on the Battle of Badr, he came in the form of a man. So when they saw the Prophet ﷺ, Quraysh were turning back. They wanted to flee because it was. This is the devils flee when they see the angels. He said that I fear God. So then there is the kufr juhud. This is like ilhad, like atheism. The atheists today, they fool themselves because that the atheists, Habib has no doubt that they know that there is supernatural powers. Why do we have so many atheists nowadays? Is because they want to convince themselves uh, that it's fine to live completely free. They want to live in their desire. And so the easiest way to not have that cognitive dissonance inside them is to just accept accept in their minds that there's no God, so they can fulfill all their desires whenever they want. So they manifest their atheism just so that they could just follow their desires, and they know that they're wrong, but this is a type of arrogance. So every arrogant person, that 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 the true message has reached them and they rejected it, that is from arrogance. And we're not talking about people who lived far away from Islam and Muslims and they don't have any information. And there are people like that. If the da'wah has not reached them, they have a different affair. And then there are some who say, and then they said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hidden three in three, and and some have said four in four. And this wisdom is something very important. It's like it should be an axiom, a rule of law for us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hidden three in three. And some said four in four. He's hidden his rida, his good pleasure in his obedience. So don't belittle any good deed. So don't belittle any good deed. Don't belittle anything. Don't say there's no use in it. And the Prophet ﷺ said, don't belittle any good deed, even if it's to meet your fellow brother with a smile. Meaning, even if you inside you have problems and you don't want you have worries, you don't want to smile, and you're tired and you have a lot of issues, and despite all of that, you smile at the face of the poor person or a worker or the one who's working in the heat. You smile at them. The weight of doing that is much more than smiling at the face of your friend, of your children, or your parents, because you love to smile at them, because you're happy to see them always. That for you to smile at them is a natural thing, but to smile at a person who you don't know and he doesn't know you, a simple person, in whatever simple state they might be in, might be a laborer who works in the heat, in the sun, he sweats and he's tired and he's hungry and he works, and then you smiled at them and you said salams to them and you made them happy. This is heavier than you smiling at your friend, because that is solely for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. You do not benefit from it one bit. You might just see that person once in your entire life. There are people we've met only once in our lifetimes, and there's something really important. And if you think back in go to the memory lane and think about your life, there are people you've only met once in your life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined for you to meet so and so. You might be in the airport or you might be going from Mecca and you only met that person once. And then next time you meet them is on the Day of Judgment. These meetings that weren't unplanned, these are very important, because firstly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who organized that meeting without a plan. So this is why it is important is to make the most of that meeting, that meeting be beneficial, that you say the salams, you give him that person that due right by saying salams to that person, to shake their hands, to make dua. And it may be that you don't meet them until the Day of Judgment. The fact that you don't meet them until the Day of Judgment, that this may be a means of your intercession on the Day of Judgment, because it has no ulterior motive in that meeting. So the weight of that is great and his reward is great, because if we were to measure our good deeds, we'll find a lot of our good deeds are have an element of exaggeration to them. So our good deeds are not pure 100%. We wish they would be. They have a mix of this and that. Maybe it might be 30% or 20% for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the Prophet ﷺ said, that there are many who pray and they only get that little part where they were present. So if I prayed Isha and my heart was present only in one tasbih, then that is my prayer, and the rest is there's nothing for me in that. May Allah conceal our faults. If Allah were to judge us for our actions, even a simple judgment would be uh, is not something simple. We have no other way except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not judge us at all. The Prophet said, whoever is judged will be punished. When we say that there are people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained for you to only meet once in your life, for these people, we say give them their due right in terms of salam, in terms of smile, in terms of dua, because it's very likely these people, they're people who have a spiritual state with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no such thing as a as a coincidence, as a coincidence. It shouldn't be in the dictionary of faith, people of faith. Maybe in the dictionary of language, but there's no such thing as coincident. Everything is ordained and decreed, and and the decrees are what is destined is based on your intentions. What is destined is based on your intention. Meaning, you left your house, you're going to work, and you're going to the mosque, you're going to the marketplace, and you intended in your heart, and you had a true intention, and you said, "Oh my Lord, I intended to send salams or to say salams to the righteous," even though you're going to the marketplace. And in the marketplace, you have both good and bad people, and most people, it's a mix of people, unlike the mosque. And we're hoping that every single Muslim, we're judging based on the fact that every Muslim is a righteous person. Or better to say that they have taqwa, they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The believer, uh, every single Muslim has some degree of taqwa. They have taqwa of disbelief, that's why they enter into Muslim. So when you leave your house, you make intention, I intend to meet the righteous and the ulama, but you don't know them. And then you go out and carrying that intention, then Allah destines for you that meeting. So what is destined is based on your intention. So Allah destines for you to meet the righteous, and you might think it's a coincidence, but it's not a coincidence. This is from your intention. So the more your intention is righteous and true, then Allah destines for it for you, because you are given subsistence and your risk based on your intentions. So you may end up meeting the righteous ulama. A person may say, I wish to do Umrah and inshallah meet one of the ulama and do Umrah with them, and then I shake their hands. You make these intentions. because going for Umrah is the gathering of the righteous, or to go to the Prophet ﷺ. These are the loved ones of the Prophet ﷺ. Make me be united with them, and make me be united with them. So they'll come to you and they send salams to you. When Habib Hussein went for Umrah when he was a student, and they were strongly connected to their Sheikh Habib Abdul Qadir Sagaf, may Allah make us benefit from him. And Habib wasn't able to do Hajj with Habib Abdul Qadir Sagaf. So Habib went for Umrah, and Habib was doing Sa'i by himself. And while he was doing the Sa'i, he came down from Marwa, and he looked to his right while he was coming down Marwa, and he saw at that point Habib al-Qadir Sagaf. He's sitting. He's sitting with his ihram on, and Habib hadn't seen him in that state before. He's only seen him in the jubba and the shawl, and he was sitting by himself. So see how Allah organizes these events. This was from Allah's benevolence. Sometimes Allah's grace comes even if you haven't intended. It comes as a gift. Sometimes this comes unexpected. Maybe somebody made dua, your mother or father, and that sent down a divine breeze. And once also another event happened. Habib was in Medina. So Habib got delayed in going for Isha because there was only one washroom in the house. So Habib missed Isha in Ramadan, and it was the last 10 days, and this was something really upsetting. And because what Habib has been taught is that the Jama'ah is something that is very important, especially let alone Jama'ah in Ramadan in the last 10 days in the Haram. So Habib left, and he was hoping to meet the prayer, but he missed it. So he was really upset. So while he was in that thought he was upset at that, while he was having that sad state, Habib Abdul Qadir Sagaf entered into the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ, and he was with all of his students, and he came in, and they walked in front of Habib, and Habib was awestruck. So he went with them, and they hadn't prayed Isha. So see Allah's plan. This was one of the greatest gifts. So Habib prayed behind Habib al-Qadir Sagaf. They prayed 8 rakats Tarawih. So Habib, they prayed 4 or 8 Tarawih, and then they went away. So they had to travel somewhere. So Habib was taken to Habib. He was pulled to Habib al-Qadir, and he went with them. And he didn't know where they were going, what they were doing. He had no idea, but he just went with them. So when they got into the car, Habib he said, I need to take he needs to take permission. And they said that Habib is going to go visit the ulama, and there was only one young person, that was Habib Hussein. And then Habib was saying, ask, can I go with you? And he said, if there's space in the car, come in. So Habib uh, came in, and he was like squeezed between them all. So they went to Habib Haddar al-Haddar, which is one of the greatest awliyas at that time. And Habib Muhammad bin Abdullah al-Haddar was there, and Habib Hassan al-Shatri and Habib Abdul Qadir, all of them were there. And the gathering was full. So that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Habib Hussein really, really, really happy. And even if Habib says that even if Habib were to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all his life, it wouldn't be enough. This is Allah's grace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he he uh, he puts people into his mercy whomever he wills. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal that he does not deprive us from the blessings of our mashayikh and from the company of the righteous. So Habib mentioned this not to boast, but just to show Allah's grace. Uh, and he writes for us a portion of that union. So what we were talking about is people who you meet once in your life, and imagine that person is a scholar. This is something that is even more rare in this day and age, that you meet a person, um, a scholar, a wali, that who's not associated to any kind of controversy or group, or no follower of any kind of group. To find a scholar who teaches you, they don't want anything from you. They don't want your money. They don't want you to join their group or anything like that. What they want is you be a servant who's sincere for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make the Prophet happy. They don't want anything from you. They want to serve the Prophet. They saw the Prophet expend everything for the sake of his ummah, and then they said, we want to serve the Prophet and to make him happy, because he will be happy to see us repent. If so, we are in this dunya wanting to make so and so happy, but there's nobody you can make. There's no one better for you to make happy, them happy, except more than the Prophet. There's no doubt you make your parents happy, which is good, great, but the Prophet, if the Prophet informed us, if the Prophet told us that the greatest action you can do is put happiness into the heart of a believer, you respected that person, you gifted that person, or you said salams to that person, you hosted that person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives you. But then what about the Prophet? If you were to put happiness into his heart, and nothing makes the Prophet uh, there's nothing that makes the Prophet more happy than his ummah getting his ummah being guided. And this is what you see Habib Omar traveling from country to country, going from here, and it's not easy doing that. Why is he doing all of that? He's non-stop working. He has no free time. He's no. He finishes one lesson, goes to the next lesson. Finishes one dora, goes to the next dora. They saw that there is the delight in trying to please the Prophet ﷺ. That delight builds in us that that strength. We have been overcome uh, by boredom and tiredness and laziness. We're humans. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us aspiration. And have you heard Habib Umar say something in this dawrah in the last Mawlid? He said two sentences that made Habib think about it at all. He said, he said, he said, I'm giving you all ijazah for to do two things: to be sincere in your actions for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that you be people of high aspirations. And he said there are people who have sincerity, but they don't have high aspirations. They have sincerity in serving, but they don't have that high aspiration. They need that he needs people to encourage that. No. And then there are people who have high aspirations, but they have no sincerity, meaning they're doing all of that, but so that people praise them, so that they come on TV, and then people share their lessons. He just wants to get famous, get views. They have high aspirations, but no sincerity. The Habib Umar said, he said, not that I'm telling you as an advice. He's saying I'm giving you ijazah. See, there's a difference between somebody advising you to do that. He said, I'm giving you ijazah. Giving ijazah, meaning he's put you into that chain of transmission coming down from sincere people. Meaning, if you were to accept that sincerely accept that license given by him, you would experience that strength coming down. And it was a gift. He gave us a summary of what is deficient in us. Is if it's a deficiency in sincerity, then you should guard your heart. And second thing, your aspirations. This is the summary of it all. We need high aspirations, and we accepted that license, that ijazah. This is for those who can even listen to the to the ijazah. If you think that it's only for the people who are present, then you have restrained yourself, limited yourself. Don't we know that the madad comes down based as much as how vast your vision is of it? So if you think you sitting in your room listening to that ijazah, you would receive it, you will receive it. And shaitan wants you to think it's nothing and not even say qabilna, as in we accept the ijazah. And then he says that he hid his uh, displeasure in bad deeds. So don't belittle any bad deed. So just as he said, don't belittle any good deed, he said, don't belittle any bad deed. And then he said, and he's hidden his awliya amongst his people. So you need to uh, watch out and or have look out for people who you might have upsetted. See a person or mashayikh, if they saw people not coming, not meeting, then they would call them and ask, I hope I haven't upsetted you by something, so that the shaitan doesn't come in between the people. Also, he hid his friends amongst the people. So don't belittle any single person. The fourth thing, which some of the Salihin I mentioned, he said he is hidden his answer behind the du'as. So don't belittle any opportunity for making du'a, any du'a, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to be called. The Prophet said to Sayyidina Aisha, ask Allah for subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything, even if it's salt in your food. Uh, make yourself used to calling out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. The third reason for why arrogance is prohibited is that it takes away all good qualities from a person, because a arrogant person does not love for other people what he loves for himself, and it's the opposite of humility, and he won't be able to control his anger and leave ostentation. So arrogance even makes the people ready to disbelieve. He has no worry. He has no just so that he is above others. So the arrogant person, as Imam Ghazali says, they can let go of all their good character. They can even lie. They can curse and slander. They don't love good for other people, just for himself. They can even disbelieve just for themselves. So it's something dangerous. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal for ease and well-being. And this will suffice with this much. And, and next week will be cure of arrogance. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He guards our heart from the disease of the heart, and from arrogance, and from ostentation, and from jealousy and conceit, and all other things, and bad opinion. O Allah, grant our souls purity, our hearts, grant us a pure heart, our souls purified, and reward on our behalf the Prophet the best reward, and reward our mashayikh, all of them, every single one of them, the best of reward on our behalf, and grant us a portion of their aspiration and their sincerity. O Allah, do not deprive us of their gatherings and taking from them and their du'as. Grant our children and our sons and daughters and our spouses from them, and make us all servants of the Prophet ﷺ and his companions and his family and all those who you love, and prepare us to serve. Make us from those who are always in service to Allah and the Prophet ﷺ. Make us of the helpers of Allah and the Prophet ﷺ, and gather us on the Day of Judgment in the company of the Ansar, the helpers, when the Muhajir, the immigrants, and the helpers are united and resurrected. Make us be from them. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد. الفاتحة.